What's up, boys and girls? Hope y'all are doing well. It's the weekend. It's nice out here too, thank God. Some nice warm weather, enjoying it while it lasts, because I will be not so happy when winter comes and it's not pretty like this. Went to the range yesterday. Finally ran my rifle that I've been working on for a while, and it went really well. I also have gotten my wife to shoot for the first time, and she did great. She did super well. And so now she's quite excited about shooting. A lot of people have that fear of firing a gun initially, before firing it. And the truth is, most of the time, really the fear and just not knowing what the experience is like is far worse than the actual experience itself, And so, for her, she's like, oh man, this rifle, oh, this is so, this is really intimidating, and it was loud in there, of course, because other people were there shooting as well. But she shot, and she did awesome. Been teaching her how to handle a rifle and a handgun for months now, and the fruit of that was seen yesterday and how well she shot. She did excellent. But what's been on my mind lately has basically been men. Politically speaking, we're now in a place where men are softer than they've ever been before. They're softer, they're sorrier, there's this kind of beta male culture we live in now where it's more about feelings than it is about logical fact. And it's, being forward is considered bad. I think feminism has a significant part in the reason why things are the way they are now. It's an increasingly feminized age where, femininity is good. It's great. Love me some femininity, don't get me wrong. But it has effectively taken over the idea of what being a man is. And so we have this culture now where being courageous, standing up for what is good, for what is right, especially on the end of conservatives, it's in trying to be too nice, and trying to just be, just basically better than a lot of people on the left, not all, but most. We're often on the defensive a lot, right? For one, we're being falsely accused of being racist and Nazis and stuff like that. And for another, a lot of people are just really, 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 really weak about their values, And so we need a generation of men who stand up on good principles and good values, and don't back down. We need to have this, we need some vigor. We need to be forward. We need stoicism. We need men who can hear insults and all sorts of craziness and not be affected by it. We need men who can let these things just roll off their back, and move on. Because it's a very emotional time where people aren't concerned about the facts and are rather concerned about how they feel. And any women, watching this, try not to take this personally by any means, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you understand what I mean in saying that there's a certain emotional aspect to a lot of this stuff that just doesn't check out logically. Remember when LeBron James got on the internet and said, black people can't go outside without being hunted down by police. That's such a emotional statement. He may very well feel that way, but as Ben Shapiro said, the facts don't care about your feelings. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that it actually is a certain way. And so we have people who just feel like, therefore, we have this system of oppression that's holding down black people, feel like America is somehow more racist than it's ever been. And neither of those things are true. They're not true. And so, we have that. We have, rampant single motherhood in our country. We have black on black crime just being as bad as it is. We have a lot of these serious issues, the issues of gender, male and female, like the idea that it's a spectrum now. That's a bunch of garbage and nonsense. And yet people feel like they have to walk on eggshells to kind of get by. And, in a way, we kind of have to if you just want to get by, right? Like you don't want to lose your job, right? You don't. But honestly, we need to be willing to lose our jobs at this point. If standing up for the simple truths put you at risk of losing your job, we have a lot more to be worried about than merely losing a job and having to get another. Like COVID stuff aside, I'm sure you understand what I mean generally here when I say this. Our society is crumbling. In some ways, it is literally crumbling. Statues are being pulled down and destroyed, right? People who are already ignorant of history are trying to bring down physical representations of that history. History that's important, history that you learn from so that we can be better and do better, which is exactly what happened in our country, right? Much better place now because we know what happened in the past, right? And so we have to stand up because honestly, it's at a tipping point where it may well be too late. And things seem fine now in a way, right? You go outside, it's not ridiculous and out of control and stuff. But just not too long ago, there were so many riots occurring throughout the country, so many buildings destroyed, so much violence and stuff. Like, it can really pop off that quick. It can just come out of nowhere. And it's frankly, a lot of it is because we're not standing up to this ignorant, foolish sentiment that is just, the common norm now, like, and all this silly jargon, like microaggressions and stuff like that. Like, you're always going to have something that you got to deal with in life, but we need to have thicker skin. Like, we really need men to stand up here. You can say, alpha men, if you will, but we need men who will stand up and not be afraid.